everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. So let me run through the reading plans for the week. So today it is Monday and it's the 1st of April, which I just think is rather pleasing that the 1st is falling on a Monday. I just feel like all my ducks are in a line. So we didn't read anything yesterday and I finished a book on Saturday, so today is kind of a fresh start so I can dive into my April TBR. And the book that I have chosen to start with is If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nolan. So this is kind of like the sequel to If He Had Been With Me, but this is told from Finn's perspective. So from what I know, it's the exact same story but just from his point of view, and I'm assuming it's going to be quite different, obviously, because you know, boys and girls have very different emotions, so I'd like to kind of see where this sort of goes, you know, kind of get an insight into both their minds really. So I'm kind of excited to start with this. It's not very long. I did pick up the Waterstones exclusive sprayed edition with the red sprayed edges because I just think it was really pretty, but I think we're starting off strong with this one because, like you all know, I tend to read fantasy, and I think starting off with a romance, a YA romance as well, it's going to be good. It's going to be good for me. It's going to set the month up perfectly for us, so I'm excited to dive into this and see where it goes. So as you all know, I am working. I always work. That's just unfortunately what you have to do when you are an adult, but I'm working Monday to Friday this week, and currently today is Bank Holiday Monday, so we are open from 10:30 till 4:30, which is a bit better, but I still have to get there at 9, so it's still going to be like a normal working day for me. But I don't get as long of a lunch, so I won't get around to reading as much of this as I'd like to today. But hopefully finishing that little bit earlier means I can spend a bit more time this evening to catch up on some reading and bits and pieces like that. So that is the reading plans for today. I haven't got an audiobook and I don't know whether to pick up the second book in the What Moves the Dead series. I forget what it's called. I know it's got a blue cover, but I know on my audiobook app it's literally going to take me like an hour or so to listen to, so I don't know whether to like pick that up on the side as well, just so then I've got something else to like keep me going and read, because I've kind of gotten out of listening to my audiobooks recently and I'm only reading physical books, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I do like an audiobook every now and then, so I don't know whether to pick that up as well. We'll see. So I'm going to finish my tea and then gonna head off to work, and I will speak to you later with some reading updates. So I have some reading updates for you. So I managed to read a little bit of If Only I Had Told Her this morning before I went to work, and then I picked it back up again while I was on my lunch. Now I did only get a half-an-hour break and I didn't read for much this morning, but I've made it a good way through. I'm now up to chapter 6, which is page 51. So I mean, I think that's a decent dent for the short amount of time that I've read in. So it's definitely from his point of view, and I kind of forgot what a teenage boy's mind is like, because they think about one thing and one thing only, and that's quite apparent in this. So I don't know if it's going to be like this throughout. I'm not like connecting much to Finn. I definitely feel more for Autumn. Like, I loved that book so much, and so, you know, seeing it from his point of view is very different. It's more different than what I thought it was going to be. But I am excited to kind of see where it goes, you know, where his feelings get taken and bits and pieces like that. So I am excited, but a little bit wary, because, I mean, this is a YA book and you are literally talking about his genitals and what he wants to do. And it's just a bit like, okay. So we'll see, but I'm hoping to read a bit more of this tonight. After work, I popped round my friend's house, and as you will currently see, she got a new dog, and I just love him so much. His name is Atlas. He is adorable. He is like 5.5 to 6 months old, and he is a Great Dane. Honestly, adorable. If I could have him, I would. She knows that I'm literally going to be over there just to spend some time with him now, so sorry, Cairo, but adorable. So I spent most of my evening there having a chat with her, and meeting him. But I'm home now, I've got dinner cooking, so I'm hoping to have some dinner. I might put something on to watch, I'm not too sure, but then hopefully I can get around to reading a bit more of this, because I'm kind of getting into a habit of reading on my lunch break and that's it throughout the day, and it's just taking me so much longer to read books. And I kind of need to get back into the routine of like reading in the evenings or reading in the morning and things like that, because I just don't. And I just feel like I'm cheating myself if I'm just reading on my lunch break. So we're going to try and change that. We'll see how the week goes. But I do want to dedicate some time to reading this. It's almost a 400-page book. So I'd like to, maybe try and start reading 100 pages a day, maybe. We'll see if that could work. Maybe I could challenge myself to do that. I don't know. But I want to read more of this and see what's going on in Finn's mind. So I'm going to carry on with cooking dinner, and I will speak to you later, fingers crossed, with some really good updates. So I've literally just been sat here reading. Sorry about the bad lighting, but I didn't realise that this is told from 3 different perspectives, not just Finn's. So I've just finished Finn's perspective, and obviously it's kind of ending where you would think it to end, with Finn. And then the next perspective is Jack. Now Jack is like Finn's best friend. And then I checked a little while later, and then the 3rd POV is Autumn. So I'm kind of excited to see, what that kind of is, because we've had Autumn's POV. We had a whole book of Autumn's POV. But I really enjoyed reading from Finn's point of view. And obviously it wasn't as in-depth because he's only had like a 1/3 of the book, whereas Autumn's POV was much more over the years about, their whole life and what led to this one moment. So Finn's was very much like the night before, pretty much. But it was kind of nice to see from his point of view and his thoughts. But then it's like, why are we getting Jack's point of view? So, because it says on the back that Jack is Finn's best friend, and he's not too sure about his love for Autumn. And it says, how is he supposed to support and protect Finn when heartache seems inevitable? So I suppose, I don't know, there'll be some bits that Jack's going to say that we won't know from either Finn or Autumn. Maybe some, I don't know, there's some arguments or something. Who knows what we're going to get. But I've only read like the first chapter of Jack, because it just, when you're just reading, and I just couldn't stop. So I am going to pause now because it's late and I need to go to bed. But it is very good and I'm enjoying it. It's not as sad as the first one. It could get sadder, but I'm not welling up or anything at the moment. But I don't know if that's just because I kind of know what's happened, and I've had my cry when I read that. Who knows? But I am really enjoying this. So like I said, I'm on to Jack's chapter. I'm up to chapter 2, but we're on page 166. So I mean, I think I'm going to try and do like a mini challenge for myself this week and see if I can read over 100 pages a day. So I've read 166 pages today, so I mean, I've definitely hit that. I think that this will be a nice little challenge just to see if I can do it or not. But anyway, I'm going to head off to bed, but I am really enjoying this. So I can't wait to kind of read about Jack's POV tomorrow. Hopefully I can kind of finish Jack's POV tomorrow, and then like on Wednesday I can read Autumn's POV. I think that would be a kind of a good way to like split this up. But it's very good. It's very different to what I thought it was going to be. It's very different to the first one. But obviously you do need to read the first one to kind of know what's happening here. But I'm having a good time, so that's all that matters. So I'm gonna head off to bed, I think, because it's late and I'm tired and I have work tomorrow. But I will speak to you tomorrow with some updates. actually managed to read so much today already, which is just, I think, incredible, because I'm really dedicating myself to reading over 100 pages every day. So I am literally on page 320, which is chapter 6 of Autumn's POV now. So I've read Finn's, we're now on Autumn's. I've literally got like 40 pages left, so I'm definitely finishing this tonight, and I will let you know my thoughts. But just a quick overview about how I'm feeling at the moment. It's not the best like writing, and I feel like it just hasn't felt like edited properly. Like, the first book was so good and so gripping, and I just feel like it's just not what I expected. So I thought it was going to be from Finn's point of view, you know, the same as it was Autumn's, all throughout before and leading up to the event. Whereas it's more after. It's after everything that's happened and how these people are basically dealing with it. And it's the fact that it's from 3 different POVs, and it's not just from Finn's, it's from Finn's, it's from Jack. Jack and Finn were best friends, and then it's also from Autumn as well. So you kind of get to see her after, which is quite nice. But we had a whole book on Autumn, so it's a bit like... So I just don't really know how I feel about this. I'm obviously going to finish this, but part of me is a bit like, if you've read the first one, I don't really think you need to read this, because I'm expecting, you know, floods of tears and, you know, being so emotional, and it's just not like that at all. So I'm a bit disappointed, especially with this being like the first book I'm reading this month. Yeah, I'm going to finish it because, you know, I haven't got much left, but it is just a little bit disappointing, so... But in other news of book mail, so I had a book turn up at work, and it literally came in the biggest Penguin Random House box ever, and it was just one book. So there was no way I was going to be bringing that home to unbox, so I just quickly unboxed it. You would have seen me unboxing it at work anyway. But the book is Bellies by Nicola Dinnan. Now, it looks really intriguing. I remember this coming out in hardback, and a lot of people bought it, and it was kind of raved a little bit. I'm pretty sure there was a hype on a social media platform of some kind. I've got no idea what it's about. The first line, it says it begins as your typical boy meets boy, so I'm kind of intrigued to see what it's about. I don't really like knowing too much about the books that I read. I liked going in like pretty much blind, so I'm excited to see where this goes. It's not out yet in paperback. I'm pretty sure it comes out in the next week or couple weeks, so you will be able to get your hands on it if you do want it. And I'm pretty sure the hardback was a very different, I'm pretty sure it had a peach on the front, maybe, I don't know, but I'm excited to give this a go. So we have this, but then I came home to a WH Smith parcel. Now I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I'm pretty sure it is their book of the moment, because they do send me that, and I was really hoping it is, because I know what the book of the moment is. I've seen it all over social media. It's currently the thriller book of the month for Waterstones as well, and seeing the reviews and kind of knowing about it, because obviously I need to sell it as my job, I really do kind of want to get around to reading this. So here's hoping it's this. Yes, so it is. So let's have a quick, so we always get a little note from WH Smith. So it says, our next book of the moment is here, and we can't wait for you to read it. Strange Sally Diamond is a pitch black psychological thriller you won't be able to put down. Happy reading from the WH Smith social team. So this is what it looks like. Now, if you like, I don't know how you pronounce it, Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. Now, is that by Honey Gaiman, I think it is. I'm not too sure, but it's around, her name's similar to that, at least if it's not. Now, if you like that, you're going to like this. So the main protagonist, Sally, is neurodivergent, and her father has been joking like all her life to say, you know, when I die, just throw me out with the trash, basically. Just burn my body, like it, you know. And he dies. So she does it, and it causes this big uproar. She's on social media, you know, the news want to interview her and things like this, but because she's neurodivergent, she didn't understand. She just thought her dad was telling her, when he dies, just burn my body. So she did. She didn't see anything wrong with that. And we are then following her after all of this that's happened, and kind of just seeing the way she kind of deals with life. And apparently it's written really nice, and, you know, you just kind of get to see her, and it's, you know, it's good representation. But then you also get a different POV. So you get a POV from someone named S, who is halfway across the world, who just seems to know so much more about Sally than what she does. and then I suppose it's kind of figuring out who this person is and how they know so much about Sally. Now, I think it sounds really interesting, and it's definitely one that I want to pick up, and I'm so glad it is the book of the moment for W.H. Smith. So thank you to you guys for sending me this. Honestly, I'm so thrilled to get this, and obviously I'm going to be reading it as soon as possible, hopefully, but that's just an incredible day for book mail, at least. So yeah, so I feel like I kind of whizzed through that, so sorry if that's a bit rushed, but anyway, I'm going to make some dinner, and I'm going to be dedicating at least half an hour to finish off, you know, the last few pages of my book, and then I kind of need to decide the next book I'm going to read. Now, today is Tuesday. It is Tuesday the 2nd, so it is release day for the reappearance of Rachel Price. Now, I'm kind of half tempted to pick up that book because I do have the ARC. I have put the special edition, you know, away for me as well at work because I'm kind of tempted by that too. I'm kind of tempted to pick up that one after. It's either that, or I think because I've read that one so quickly, do I pick up like a really chunky book like Empire of the Vampire or The Will of the Many, just to kind of like do a short book and a long book sort of thing. So I'm a bit undecided. I'll probably get my partner to help me choose my next book, but I will update you later because I will be finishing that book today, and obviously we will have another chat, so I will speak to you then. Sitting here for a little bit, and I have just finished If Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nolan. Now, I don't necessarily think that you need to read this book if you've read If He Had Been With Me. There is a lot of closure, I suppose. You kind of see Finn's thoughts and feelings up to the event, and then you kind of get like added information from Jack, which is one of his friends, as well as Autumn, and you find out some you know, juicy information, I suppose. And I'm kind of glad I did read it. But I don't think you need to read this. I've been like selling this to people that it's from Finn's point of view and exactly the same story as Autumn's, but just from Finn's POV and things like that, and it's just not like that at all. So I'm just like, I don't really know how I feel about it. I'm glad I read it, but I wasn't missing out on anything the whole time that I hadn't read it. So yeah, so now I've finished this, I'm kind of in the mood to read something a bit different. I am kind of thinking about starting The Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff, but I'm thinking I might want to just sit and annotate that one and like sort my tabs out and get some highlighters maybe and some pens. So it's not that late, so I'm still going to be up for a good hour and a bit, so I'm thinking that I might pick up an audiobook because I wanted to read the second book in the series by T. Kingfisher. So I finished reading What Moves the Dead a couple days ago, and I never got around to reading the second one, which is What Feasts at Night. Now I'm kind of in the mood to just maybe pick this up, put my headphones on so I can sort like my annotation tabs and things like that, and maybe do like a colour coded one for the book, and I've got the time to like, yeah, just sort that out, listen to an audiobook while I do that. Maybe I can finish the audiobook tonight, who knows, depends on the speed I listen to it, but if not I could read like a good chunk of it at least, and then sort out Empire of the Vampire ready to start and annotate tomorrow. That's kind of what's going on in my mind, so we'll see if that happens, but let's just crack on. I'm going to make a cup of tea I think, and yeah, let's go. just started and finished this. So yeah, it was a very good book. So we're basically following Easton again, and it's like another weird horror sort of adventure that he goes on. So he goes to this place to meet Miss Potter, who's one of his friends, and when he goes there he finds like that place has basically been abandoned because they think this weird creature is like haunting the place pretty much. And it's this creature that kind of takes your breath away, and then people have been dying of pneumonia, so I'm assuming that has something to do with it. And this person gets really sick and like can't talk and has got a croaky voice and things like that because of this thing that's taking its breath. And Easton just doesn't really believe in that. Obviously he just thinks he's poorly or there's something wrong with him, so he tries to figure out what. And then it ends up happening to him, and there's like hallucinations and things like that, or he thinks he's dreaming and that he's going to die and bits like that. So it's quite interesting. It is a really good story, and I bet T. Kingfisher could go quite far with this, because you could just use old folklore and things like that to just make more stories like this. And I mean, they are only short. I mean, I did manage to just sit and listen to it in one sitting, but they are quite fun reads. I mean, there was parts where I was just like, it was just like, that was my face the whole way through, like, really. It was a bit gory, but I quite liked that because obviously it is a horror book. But I'm glad that I picked this up, and I was able to sort out my annotations while I listened to it. So I've got my book here. I got the book sleeve that I got from last month's Illumicrate box, but it doesn't quite fit the book. Like, the book is so chunky, it doesn't quite fit, so I might just try and like force it in there for the sake of protecting the book, because I don't want the dust jacket on, because there's no way I'm going to fit this in my bag. Like, I'm just going to have to carry it around, so I thought that maybe this would somewhat protect it a bit more. But I've sorted out my annotation key, so that's it there. So I've got it all planned out. I've got my tabs in here ready. I've got a little pot of all the pens that I'm going to be using as well, so it's all planned out. It's all ready for tomorrow, so hopefully I might try and get up a little bit early in the morning so I can have a cup of tea and just start and read a chapter at least, and then I can take it to work and carry on reading it. So I'd say that was a pretty good evening, just kind of planning and organising. And I've definitely read over 100 pages today. I'm pretty sure I have written it down on my notes. So today I have managed to read 378 pages, because yes, I am including the audiobook in that, because that is reading, at least to me. So I've read almost 400 pages today, so I'm definitely smashing this 100 pages a day this week. So hopefully we can carry on with reading Empire of the Vampire. So I am gonna call it quits tonight. I think I need to go to bed, ready for another fun day of reading tomorrow, but I will speak to you tomorrow with some more updates. A little bit earlier this morning, just so I had time to kind of sit down, make a cup of tea, have some breakfast and read for a little bit. And I think I ended up having about 45 minutes to read, which was just incredible. I must have just got ready quickly, probably why I look like this. So I thought, you know, 45 minutes worth of reading, I'm going to get so much done already, like it's going to be incredible. So I was able to start Empire of the Vampire, and I have now made it to page 19. It has took me 45 minutes to read 19 pages, which I have no words. So I feel like I'm going to struggle doing the 100 pages today, because it took me 45 minutes to read 19 pages. And that's not even like every page, because like this was just like the first chapter, just diving into it sort of. I've now made it up to book 1, chapter 1, so it was literally like the prologue I read, and it took me 45 minutes to read. So wish me luck, because this is going to be with me for quite a while, I feel like, because it's just going to take me so long. It could just be because it's the start of a like a fantasy book, so it's probably just me getting into the writing style and things like that. I'd like to think, and I am also annotating this as well, which is obviously going to take me a lot longer to read too, so I don't know whether to try and pick up the audiobook while I'm reading it as well. We'll kind of see how the next few days go, but I mean, it is a chunky book anyway. It's over 700 pages long, so maybe I made the wrong choice of choosing this one. We'll see. But it is good. I mean, I quite like it so far. I've already annotated loads of bits, so I mean, surely that means it's going to be good. I've got my Illumicrate cover on it to just kind of protect it, even though it doesn't really fit. It's going to protect it more than just the dust jacket, because it's raining today as well, and this isn't going to fit in my bag, so I kind of have to carry it around with me everywhere. But we'll see how we go. But I just thought I would update you on how slow I'm going to be reading over the next few days, so wish me luck. Good morning everyone. So it is currently Friday, so as you probably would have seen, I didn't exactly record anything on Wednesday and I recorded absolutely nothing yesterday. So a family emergency came up where I was then hanging around a hospital for a good 14 hours. I went 26 hours without any sleep, and it was a rough couple of days, but we are kind of just trying to go back to normal. I'm back at work today, and we're just kind of moving on from everything. I didn't want to just not address anything, the fact that I haven't recorded anything for Wednesday and Thursday, because there could have been some questions and things like that, so I thought it's just easier to quickly jump on here and roughly let you know kind of what's happening. So while we were hanging around the hospital, I did pick up a book on my Kindle. I picked up the big ASS Party, it's something along those lines. It's on my TBR. I read it. I don't remember what happened, to be honest. It was about 100 pages. I read it because there was nothing else to do, but again, don't ask me what it's about, because I don't know. I forgot to take my other book, but I wasn't exactly in the best headspace to be reading anyway, so I haven't exactly read much over the last couple of days. I've brought Empire of the Vampire with me to work today, and hopefully to get back into reading and just distract me a little bit. So I am on my way to work as we speak, but I just thought I would quickly update you all on life, because life is not always perfect. You don't always get to see the highs and the lows on camera. A lot of people like to just show the best of the best things for you guys, and I can't really do that. I wasn't exactly going to whip my camera out at the hospital, but I don't really want to just pretend like I went away, sort of, you know what I mean? So I'm tired, I'm absolutely knackered, I'm exhausted, I'm coming down with something because I'm stressed. I'm just all over the place at the minute, so this is what we're dealing with. So hopefully work can distract me somewhat today, and then probably after work I'm just gonna go back to bed because I've got a busy weekend and stuff. So we're just gonna see how it goes, but I just thought I'd quickly jump on and let you guys know. So apologies for not recording, but obviously I'd like to think you guys are understanding and would, you know, understand why I haven't recorded. So I'm going to head off to work. Hopefully I can do a bit of normal recording today. If there's not much, then I mean, we're not expecting much from me for the latter end of this vlog now, I think, but hopefully I will get some reading done, and I will speak to you later about it. Some reading updates for you. So I am currently on chapter 7, which is page 66. Now this is taking me a very long time to get through, but like you would have seen, I am annotating this. I'm writing things down, I'm underlining, I've got a whole little system going, and I'm actually really enjoying using like the coloured pens. So I think when I flick through, I'm gonna start remembering like which colour is for which. I'm obviously using more colours than others. I'm using the magic tabs more, and I'm using the world and, you know, the description more, because obviously this is the start of a book, the start of a series, so there's a lot going on, but I am really enjoying it. So we found out that Gabriel is like half vampire, half human, and because it is a sin to be a vampire in, you know, their eyes, he's going to join their little group to then try and take down the vampires, basically, because they are unnatural, they shouldn't be part of the world and things like that. So he's basically started showing signs that he's half vampire, so he has like the speed and the strength, but he also has the thirst for blood, which is a bit gross, and you kind of find out that in a disgusting sort of way. But it is really good. I am really enjoying it, and I am enjoying annotating it as well, because I'm definitely remembering more. It's just taking much longer to kind of get into and, you know, actually read. It's taking me like an hour to read 20 or so pages, so this could be a long sort of journey, but I'm okay with that. I'm enjoying it, so hopefully I can read a little bit more tonight. But it is movie night tonight, and obviously I'm still a bit tired from the last couple of days, so we'll see. I have got the weekend off. I'm busy, but hopefully I can read a little bit more of this. And then I also do have book mail. So a couple of days ago I bought the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I do have the arc of it, and it is on my April TBR, but I saw the special edition came in, and it has her signature in it as well, signed, and it's a special sort of first edition. I got this for me, and I also got one for my friend as well, and I just thought I really like her special edition books. I also have Five Survive. I have the special edition of that as well as the arc of that. I like owning multiple copies of books, and there's nothing wrong with that, so I thought I would have this to add to my collection. And then when I went into work this morning, this was in the cupboard for me, so I've got book mail. It doesn't say who it's from, but I thought we could open it because I haven't had book mail for a couple of days, so let's see what we've got. It's a hardback by the looks of it. Ooh, I didn't realise I asked for this. So this is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Now, from what I know, she has redone all of these books. Like, these were the first books that she published. So what she's done is kind of gone through them and re-edited them, I assume. Rewrote some paragraphs and bits and pieces like that. So it has new material in it and everything. Now, I haven't read The Bone Season at all. The only book I've read by her is The Prior of the Orange Tree, and I did really enjoy that. I haven't got around to A Day of Fallen Night, but I do want to at some point. But this is the first one in the series. I think there's like 5 books in the series or something like that. I've got no idea what it's about, but I am kind of looking forward to it. It is a very beautiful book, and it's popular for a reason, but I think she got big from Priory, I think. But that is very exciting. It's set in the year 2059, and I'm just excited to give this a go. So this is from Bloomsbury, so thank you to Bloomsbury for this, and I'm going to add this somewhere. Now, I can't put it with my other books because my other books, they're dragon books, so obviously they're on my dragon shelf. Now, and I can't put this there. I will find a home for it. I still have that pile of books that you would have seen from like last week's vlog or something that's still just like on a pile behind me. I still haven't got around to putting that away, so this will end up there for a time being. But anywho, so that's all the updates I have. I'm going to try and read a little bit more tonight, but I'm going to put some dinner on. We're going to watch a film. I don't know what we're going to watch yet. We have a little jar, so we do rock paper scissors to kind of choose who's going to choose one out of the jar, and it's just all on post-it notes, so it's just a complete random, so we never really know what we're watching because we're so indecisive. We can sit and eat our dinner by the time we've like chosen a film to watch. It's ridiculous. So we'll see what we end up pulling out the jar, and then yeah, I will maybe speak to you later with some updates. 10 at night, and I've kind of realised that I haven't actually spoke to you today, let alone updated you on anything at all. So I haven't really been in like the best reading sort of mood today. I think I've read like 2 chapters of Empire of the Vampire this morning, and then I haven't picked up a book since. I have found that the reappearance of Rachel Price is on my audiobook app, so I thought I would download that, and I listened to a chapter of it that literally was like 10-15 minutes long, and that was that. And then I put that down, and I've literally just been scrolling on my phone ever since. I've had quite a busy day today, so I haven't really had the chance to like pick up a book much, but I have had the time this evening, but I just kind of haven't wanted to, and that's okay. Everyone has days, moments like that, and I think I'm still a bit tired. I'm still just a bit stressed. I'm still trying to like wind down from a few days ago and bits and pieces, so I just thought I would let you know that I haven't done much reading today, but that's fine. I might be able to pick up more of my audiobook or my physical book tomorrow, but again, I do have quite a few plans tomorrow. But this is just a quick check-in just to let you know that I have done some reading. I am still coping with everything that's happened, but we are getting there, so hopefully I can read a little bit more tomorrow. If not, then maybe we'll just kind of go back to normal on Monday, we'll see. But just a quick check-in, and hopefully I will speak to you tomorrow with some updates. Just because Liam is currently watching the football downstairs and he is shouting and screaming and God knows what, so if you hear any of that in the background, that's just him watching the football, because he obviously thinks they can hear him screaming and shouting when he's in the house, when he's God knows how many miles away. Anyway, I thought I'd just quickly update you with some reading and bits and pieces that I've done. So I went out today, like you would have seen, because Liam needed an eye test, so I thought I'd go with him. We had a walk around town, bits and pieces like that. He ended up buying a book, and I don't have that with me, but he bought, it was Talking with Psychopaths or something like that. It's like a true crime sort of book, and he quite likes those. He doesn't really read much, but it's going to end up on my bookshelf, and it's there just in case he wants to read it, and he bought it, so I mean, it's his money, he can do what he wants with it. So he bought that, and then I went to the Works and I saw that they had 3 for £6, and I don't really tend to shop at the Works because I do get a good discount at Waterstones, but sometimes the books are just too good to part with. So I did 3 for £6 in the deal, and then I got an extra book which was £2.50 as well, so I spent £8.50 on 4 books, and I picked up the first 4 in the Chestnut Springs series, I think that's what they're called, by Elsie Silver. They didn't have the 5th one, otherwise I would have got that as well, but they had the first 4, which I thought was pretty good, and I've heard people rave about this series. My friend has picked this up and absolutely loved it, and so I'm kind of influenced by her, but I just saw them and thought, you know, it's £8.50 for 4 books. I can't say no to that. So we have Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and I want to say the last one is a green one, which is Hopeless, so I'm going to keep my eyes out for that, see if I can find that. We might have that at my local Waterstones anyway, so I'll have to check when I go to work tomorrow, but I picked these up because I kind of want to dive into it and see what these are like. I've heard so many good things, so I just want to, you know, get my own opinion on them. So I picked up those, And then I was browsing around the CEX shop with Liam because he obviously games, and we went to the Nintendo Switch section and I was like, oh my god, I could just pick up my Switch again and play Animal Crossing. I absolutely love doing that. So that kind of influenced me with what I was going to be doing this evening. So I picked up that, put it on charge, have been playing Animal Crossing again, actually having such a good time. I love my little world that I've created so far, so I've kind of been going back into that. But then while I was playing that, I then listened to my audiobook. So I've picked up the reappearance of Rachel Price. This is the ARC. I do have the actual hardcover special edition of it, but if I'm going to be chucking this around, I thought I'd just pick up the ARC. So I've actually listened to quite a decent amount of it. So I'm now up to chapter 15, which is page 162. This is different pages to the actual hardback, I realised, because I'm much further along. But in the hardback on chapter 15, I'm like on 130 something or something like that. So I think the text is just slightly a bit chunkier in this, but I am really enjoying this so far. It's so addictive. Holly Jackson's writing is just incredible. So we're basically following Rachel Price. Now she just randomly disappeared 16 years ago at a mall. She just disappeared. Her daughter was left in a car by herself. Like no one knew where she went, and then all of a sudden they're doing a documentary on, you know, it's been 16 years, how does it feel, sort of thing. Is there any closure? You know, the typical spiel that you get from cops and bits and pieces. And then all of a sudden her daughter Belle just notices her, just sees Rachel like from across the way and realizes that's her mum. And then all of a sudden she's back. So obviously the police are involved, they want to question her and bits and pieces like that. But some of the stuff that Rachel has been saying just doesn't add up. She was saying that the captures like just put her into a car, put a bag over her head so she didn't know where she was going, drove to this forest, you know, drove a couple hours to this forest, and then took her out of the car, left her on the dirt and drove away. Okay, fine. Now she's saying this story again to her husband, and she's saying that drove him out, turned the ignition off, dumped her, and then left. And it's just little details like that that Belle, the daughter, is kind of noticing, that certain things just aren't adding up. And, you know, why is she suddenly back? And it's just like she's not wanting this relationship with her daughter, like she's not wanting to hug her or things like that. And I don't know if Rachel can tell something's off, because Belle is just, I suppose, a bit starstruck seeing her mum back after all these years. But things just aren't adding up in Belle's head, and she's just curious. So you can kind of see the clogs kind of whirring round, and it is such an interesting read already. Like I said, I'm only a few chapters into it and I am addicted to it, so I'm hoping I can read much more of this later today. Now I haven't picked up any more of Empire the Vampire. I just haven't been in the right headspace to kind of sit and dive into a fantasy. I think I probably just picked that up at the wrong time. I am still going to take it to work, I think, just to try and slowly chip at it, but I might still have like an audiobook on the go at the same time, just while my head's still all over the place. But I am having such a good time reading this, so I mean, I can't wait to carry on, because Holly Jackson, like I said, is just an incredible author. And if you haven't read any of her books, then you definitely need to pick it up, because you've obviously been living under a rock if you haven't read one of her books. So that's all the updates that I have for you today. I've actually done quite a bit more reading than I thought I was going to do. I had quite a few plans today, but you know, things change in bits and pieces. But I am going to end the vlog here because I need the time to quickly edit today's bits and add it in ready for Tuesday for upload day. But I just want to say a big thank you for liking this video, for watching it to the end if you have made it to the end, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, for all that jazz that you guys tend to do anyway. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for welcoming me into the bookish community, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.